This segment is brought to you by Jig Masters. Step up your game with high-quality performance jigs, spinner baits, buzz baits, and more from jigmasters.com. And always, when in doubt, get the jig out.
Welcome to The Reel Down on Paddle and Fin with your hosts, Dan Perry and Jimmy Skinner, where we talk about everything tournament kayak fishing. Here we go. Hey everybody, welcome back to the show. It's another Monday night here on The Reel Down on Paddle and Fin. How you
What's
doing?
up? I'm making it, man. It's Monday. It's been a really Monday. I'm ready for it to be over with. How about you?
Good. A little sunburn, a little bit of a sinus thing going on, but it'll be all right. Had to catch fish this weekend. Life is good. Still above ground. So
How'd your fishing go this weekend?
terrible. We fished on this. I'll talk. We had like 35 people on our little local trail, which is a lot for us, but in Iron City. But like somebody had 24 and a half. Somebody had 20. My buddy Chuck had 23 and a half. But like 9 out of 36 people had fish. So it's like you either caught a couple, and I think only 3 people had 2 fish. So it's
Y'all
like,
were at Bibb County Lake, weren't you?
yeah, man, it's either you catch a big or you don't catch anything. So.
That's like I don't want to say hidden gem. I mean, everybody knows about it if you're in our state that Bibb County's got just huge fish, but
Yeah.
it's like what you just said for most people I talk to. It's like a 10-pounder or nothing at all.
Yeah.
There's like 6 fish swimming around in that lake. That's it.
Yeah, and you're just rotating those
Yeah.
6 big fish. But yeah.
Well, before we get
Yeah.
too far into it, we're going to throw up a little graphic here about the Paddle and Fin Trail Series coming up. 100% cash payouts, no membership fees, promoting all the anglers. That's their big thing. And all of the events will be live on the water, and no tournament management fees, which is a big thing. Like, I saw some comments about that about Bassmaster, and you do all the math, and there's a whole lot of money missing, and you don't have to worry about that here. So come fish with us and get all your money back, and everybody else's.
Yep. And a lot of those will be all in the Midwest, and there's going to be tons of cash and prizes from the sponsors. I mean, they haven't announced a lot of it yet, but there's going to be tons of prizes coming. It's mostly in the Midwest. There's going to be a big open and a clash of clubs on Dale Hollow, like the best time of the year. There they are right there. If you're watching live, if you're listening to it, 4-9, 4-10 Dale Hollow. 4-11 is the Clash of Clubs. So that's like your angler of the years from all the clubs, and you can still sign up. So if you have a club from anywhere in the country, you can sign up from that and bring the best of your club and compete against any of the other clubs in the country. And the rest of that's like Wisconsin, kind
Midwest.
Midwest deal.
That's why you gotta come to the one that we got down in our corner, because you gotta have good attendance at this one, and they might bring it back to our corner of the world next year. So.
That's right. Yeah, besides that, we got some dugout stuff going on. Shout out to the dugout.
Yep. Another episode brought to you by the dugout. The Reel Down deal is still going on. The Legend Extreme rods, regular price with a free Shimano SLX of your choice. I'm sure the stock's getting smaller and smaller, so you're losing your chance at that one. They've also got the new St. Croix Victory rods in. We talked about those a little bit last week. Crazy nice looking rod.
Yeah.
And then new for this week, they've got the Mega Bass P5 Destroyer rods in, which are they're it's a $4.99 price point. It's an extremely nice rod, way outside of my price range for a good rod, but it's one of those you can look at online. If you go pull them up, you'll just drool over it. It's just a good looking rod. And then they've got the Mega Bass Levante rods, which are in my range.
Price range.
Yeah, $199 rod. Still sounds ridiculous to some, but another good looking rod built, it's Mega Bass. They build everything high quality. Just step it up another level. But yeah, check all that stuff out. Be sure that you either go see them, give them a call, but let them know that you heard about all this stuff on Paddle and Fin from me and Dan, and they'll hook you up.
There you go. Hey, Bob, if you have any questions or if anybody has any questions, about the trail series. I had messaged Susie Roloff. She can answer any questions you have about that. Because the only one I'm fishing is Dale Hollow. I don't have all the specifics, but she will be able to answer them for you. So,
contrary to popular belief, me and Dan did not have a foot in this one.
No, we didn't.
We are just the promotion staff.
And what's up, Frank? Frank out there.
But yeah, speaking of it being a dugout episode, we got a dugout angler on.
We do. So we do have a third angler who he's having some technical difficulties, but we got two of the biggest names in the sport right now and have been for a long time. We'll start with big money here, lunch money. Ryan Lambert.
Oh, hey guys!
On the phone.
I'm trying to get our boy Ewing on here. He's heading over to Lee Rose's house to bum some Wi-Fi.
Yeah, he's a college kid, man. He said it. I knew that's what it was. He said, "Man, it's this Wi-Fi at school. I'm sure it's not enough."
Jamie pays the Wi-Fi bill up there, so Lee Rose gonna have that 1 gig internet or something. I'm sure.
Oh yeah,
Ryan with the most beautiful background in the game right there. And former or current reigning Hobie TOC national champion.
Grand champion. If you could just refer to me as grand champion for
grand champion. I'm sorry.
We
also have Kurt Smits, former KBF national champion, which he won more money. So I don't know if he's the real grand champion or you would be.
Well, I think I beat him for this trophy, if I'm not mistaken.
Well,
yeah. That's what I thought.
I love it.
Okay.
How much did you win in that national championship, Kurt?
A little over 40,000.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
Okay.
That's how much I've won in Knoxville in the last 5 months.
No kidding.
Yeah, I swear.
Then your deal, dude.
I was talking to somebody about it earlier, Ryan. You're gonna have to get out of the state and win some, or Conrad's gonna start creeping up and running his mouth too.
I don't care, dude. I mean, as long as my bank account stays full of those zeros, you can't tell me nothing.
Yeah.
As long as there's a number in front of the zeros.
Yeah. Do y'all want to go down to Guntersville? I'd be happy to take some money in Alabama. We got a tournament coming up in a couple weeks.
Hey, come down Wednesday. I got $100 bill waiting on you.
Wednesday?
Yeah. You didn't say when. You just said Guntersville.
I said a tournament. I'll take it though. I'll take it $100 bill.
Jimmy has his own business. He goes fishing when he wants to. But here we do have the young man himself. We're going to sandwich him in between two sticks here. Mr. Ewing Minor. Let's see if his internet's working up there.
Yeah.
I had to go to Lee Rose's house because school Wi-Fi is not the best.
No, obviously nobody saw the before and after. But the Wi-Fi he's got right now versus what he was working with earlier, it's like he looks like a different person. It was that bad.
Yeah, he's not lagging, bro. So Ewing, everybody knows who Ryan and Kurt are. Yeah, Ewing, first time on show. Tell everybody who you are.
I'm Ewing Minor. I go to Carson Newman University. I fish here. I mainly do, regular college tournaments out of a bass boat. But Lee Rose asked me if I wanted to go fish at Seminole with them, that I could use one of their kayaks. So since I've fished a few kayak tournaments out of my paddle kayak, I decided why not. And I fished the second one, and now I'm here.
There you go. And you
Got
got
a quick trip to the top, ain't it?
Yeah.
He said, "Whoop, okay."
His next step is buying his own kayak.
Yeah,
that's the important stuff.
Hey, I don't know, man. You just keep winning money in loaners.
Yeah,
that'll
that's
be
the
your
way to
nickname.
go.
It'll be
Zero
loaner.
investment. Zero investment. It's only
Zero
cash profit.
investment.
I saw a pair you threw up. We got groupie comments. Ewing's got some groupies coming on the
I
podcast.
know. I was going to say, hey,
I was about to get him and be like, "What? Whose girlfriend's that?"
All my groupies are like overweight bald dudes. They don't look anything like that.
That is the sad truth of kayak fishing.
Man, it's tough road out there.
All right, so I want to start with this quote right here about this event. Jay Wallen, everybody knows Jay. He said, "I've been fishing tournaments for almost 35 years. Been a lot of places and fish under a lot of conditions. I don't believe I've ever experienced a tougher set of conditions and as finnick a bass as this event." So I mean, it sounds like this was probably the toughest event anybody has ever fished before. Is that kind of how it? I mean, is that how it shaped out?
This ties with Cave Run for me.
Yeah.
But that was a much smaller tournament, though.
Yes, I'll answer that. It was awful.
Y'all had a launch delay because of the temperature, right?
We did on Saturday. We didn't on Sunday, and it was just as cold. I was so upset. I was freezing to death on Sunday.
What kind of temperatures? I mean, I know it's been winter weather.
19?
Ooh, nice.
Yeah. Almost ran out of digits.
It wasn't that bad. Once the sun came up, it was nice and warm.
Yeah, it was those first 2 hours when I had hypothermia. I was really concerned about.
Hey,
then I got sunburned.
Yeah.
My first fish that I caught, I had to hold my rod underwater because I couldn't reel. My guides were so frozen.
God.
Yeah.
Same. It was 25 here, and I still got sunburned. It's stupid.
That's
Oh, I
hilarious.
got very sunburned.
Yeah. All right, so I'll go over the numbers here. Day one, Nick Matthews, he had 88.5. Joby Berry, 81.25. Keith Freeze, 79.75. Ryan, you were in 7th with 74. Kurt, 8th with 73.75. And Ewing, you had 68.5. Day two, Ewing, 80.75. You had the big bag on day two. Tarek Walker, 79.75. Ryan, you were in 3rd with 77. And Kurt, I didn't write down what you had because I don't know, I was busy and got in a rush. But
Poor Kurt.
totally unprepared.
It was 60-something, 67 or something like that. It wasn't anything impressive day two.
But Ryan consistent. Ewing, you had the big bag on day two. And Kurt, I mean, you were consistent too. But it seems like I saw your post, Kurt, on day two. Were you really kind of concerned that a lot of people were sandbagging some of those people from day one and maybe they just weren't posting up their fish?
Oh, absolutely, man. I mean, there wasn't like a huge gap between me and the guy in the 4th place and 5th place behind me. At least I didn't feel like there was a big enough gap because, if you sandbag, let's say like one 18-inch fish in this tournament, one 18-inch fish could have been a game changer for anybody.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I can't remember the last time I was dying for a 12-inch fish. I mean, literally, you're like, God, if I could just catch one more 12, So anytime, you got to, and in these tournaments, you just don't know what people are going to do, man. They might not have cell service, they might not have good cell service, or they might just want to wait and drop the bomb on someone,
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, I was worried about that all day because I was looking. I was like, wow, I'm still leading. It's like there must be a bunch of people that are just sitting there, just waiting. And
that's a little different for you because you can see it in the kayak tournament, right?
Yeah.
Versus the boat tournament.
yeah, because I was sitting there, I didn't think I had near enough. I thought I was going to have like 90 inches to move up that far, but because the conditions for me were better on day two than day one going into the tournament. My goal was, just survive on day one. I knew I'd be able to catch them on the second day with the warmer weather, but I mean, I lost a couple fish that would have put me up there, but you can't do anything about that.
Yeah, you lose.
I heard a rumor. Were you fishing right behind our rental house up there in Kingston? I'm pretty sure if my intel is correct, you were fishing like literally the slough. Like our house was on the water. There's like 3 barns right there. I'm pretty sure you were in that slough by our rental house. I was like, that's embarrassing.
There's 2 places that I fished.
Wherever you were at the end of day 2, because Eric Thomason came in there. He's like, I'm pretty sure I see that redheaded kid right here. And I was like, huh, would you look at that?
Here, I can look, and I'll see where it was.
You gotta watch it. Ryan's got eyes everywhere.
Were there Yingling bottles floating in the water around you? Because that's how you know if you were close to my rental
Not
house.
that I saw. Let me look.
Well, here, I'll give the overall number. So Ryan, obviously first, 151. Ewing, 149.25. And Kurt ended up with 141.75. So still, I mean, it sounds like for the conditions, those were still you know.
I mean,
Yeah.
oh yeah, those numbers. It's obviously a tough tournament all around.
A limit.
Yeah.
A limit goes a long way.
Oh yeah.
I said it before. Like, I don't feel like if I think back on the catches, I don't feel like I won a tournament. Like catching 12, 13-inch fish, that does not feel like winning anything. That 19-inch fish felt like winning something, but the rest of those was just like, it felt like I was struggling the entire time. And
was that 19 a big fish of the tournament?
No. What? There were some nice fish caught. Like day one, if you looked at the leaderboard in the first hour, there was like 20-inch smallmouth, 20-inch largemouth, 21 and a half. Like there were some big fish caught, but there weren't multiple big fish caught.
Yeah.
Back to your question, I was fishing in Smith Creek, Long Island boat dock.
Yeah. Yep.
That's
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. That's
awesome. You didn't have to drive all that way.
Good job.
That's awesome.
Man, it would have been even better if you could have got. I mean, congrats on second. But if somehow you could have edged Ryan out behind his house, like, man, you went all the way over there. Fish are right here.
Boy. Oh, boy.
That's hilarious. Well,
if anybody has any questions for these guys, please let us know. Put them in the comments, and we'll be happy to ask them.
Ryan's got something going on with, like, Knoxville. He must be paying someone, and they're bringing him fish.
No, dog, they're paying me. They're paying me. I got a key to the city. Twin Peaks said come back. They're waiting on me. They're ready.
Well, we were talking about how bad it is, so let's get into really how bad it is and talk about the days. Go into day one, because I know after day one, everybody's mindset changed. So, Kurt, if you want to start, tell me about day one.
Right off the bat, I was catching fish. So, and I had my limit I don't even know, maybe the first 2 hours I had my limit. So that took a lot of pressure off me. And then I kind of just sat back and try to figure out where the bigger fish were, but there just weren't any bigger fish where I was. I was just happy that there was fish that were biting, that were black bass, and not a muskie, and not a drum, and not a catfish. I mean, pre-fishing, it was dismal. But for black bass, I was actually having a great time fishing because I was catching all types of fish. It was just like river fishing back home. I was catching all this crazy stuff, and I was really having a good time. A couple of times I had to pull myself away from catching drum and catching this perch. I was on a perch bite, for 3 hours. I had to stop fishing for perch to go try to figure out something.
It's one of those where you're
the limit, honestly.
You're having so much fun, and then it kicks in, and you're like, God, but I still don't have, why I'm here. I don't have it figured out.
Yeah, day 3 of pre-fishing, I'm thinking, I've caught one black bass. Maybe I should go back there and try to figure him out and throw this little swim bait that they might bite on. I mean, that's my thought process.
So,
Well,
what kind of water temps did y'all have, like water conditions, and how did you end up catching them?
My water temp was 42 degrees, and I caught all my fish but one that went in the tournament on a small 2.5-inch swim bait. One of the cheapest swim baits you can buy from Bass Pro Shops. They're a little sexy shad, or I don't even know what they call it. Sassy shad, I think.
They make 2.5-inch swim baits?
They call it 3-inch, but it's a 2.5.
But you measured it. Kurt said, I know that's not 3 inches.
I did measure it.
Got the tape measure out.
I've seen 3 inches. I see that.
I was wondering who was coming in with that joke. Oh, that's great. Were you just you slow rolling, or how were you jigging it, or how were you using it?
It was just like winter bass, white bass fishing back home, man. It was reel it, pause it, let it hit the bottom, reel it, pause it, let it hit the bottom, reel it, pause it. Man, and it was
2 days.
For 2 days.
Ooh.
And the spot I was in was 30 by 30. It was in between 2 boat docks at the end of a creek, and it was the last impression before these spawning flats that were on either side of the docks and underneath the docks. The docks are actually in shallow water.
That's small, huh?
This is why
Oh,
your
yeah.
boy
It was
won't
the
win.
same 3 casts over and over. It was one over here, one there, one there, one there, one there.
This is why your boy right here
I
don't
rotate
cash
around
check.
and change direction a couple times.
You might
My
not know
attention
this,
span's not
but-
that good.
So that little swim bait you're throwing in this part of the country, East Tennessee, that's actually a very well-known thing, and a lot of money has been won on it. Exactly how you were fishing it.
Really? I had no idea, man.
Yeah.
Nobody told me that either.
I mean, I literally had that left over in my kayak in the very bottom of my tackle bin, in my front bin on the kayak, left over from fishing the river before coming out. I didn't plan on fishing those. Because normally when I come down here, I fish 3-inch swim baits, true 3-inch swim baits, and I got 2 or 3 different favorite ones that I throw. But I wasn't getting bit on those at all. It was just that one little swim bait, and it had to be fished that exact way, and that was the only way I could get bit.
That's crazy. I hats off, Bubba. I could not. My attention span, the 9th time I made that cast, I'd have been done with it. I'd been like, all right.
There's some juice right there. Hashtag juice.
All right, Ewan, how was your day one?
I mean, how you were talking about water temps, I fished everything from 40 all the way up to 52-degree water.
52.
52. I didn't catch any fish in 52. I caught them in 49, but the 52 was just too shallow. There was another slough that I went to, and in the back of it where the ramp was, that's where that warm water was, but I think it was just too shallow. They weren't that far back yet. But on day one, I started off and, I caught like a 13-incher or something. I was like, okay, good to get the ball rolling. And then I get up to this dock and I throw off the corner post, throw my lipless across it. Hold up. What was that comment?
Oh, somebody was asking if I didn't mean to put that up right then, but does this doing well in this event make you want to fish the other Hobie events now? Since you did, now you could be in the running for AOY or things like that.
I'll tell you this.
You might actually have to get a kayak, but
when I pulled up my phone to look at the map to see where I was, the map was already on Hartwell.
Oh,
So
okay.
Watch out.
I
mean, you are about to go to Oklahoma. You could swing by Broken Bow, and
that'd be a whole lot to fish a national championship, and the next day fish a kayak tournament.
That's how legends are made, son. Let's go. Come on.
You're young. Come on.
You got the voice of reason, and then just go for it. And that's
I mean, you don't win by sitting on the couch, or I would have skipped this freaking frigid tournament up here when I didn't even get to pre-fish.
Okay, Ryan, are you going to be down there?
No.
No.
Not in Knoxville area,
but you're already going to be in Oklahoma.
Yeah, but we're already taking a boat down there, and then you got to get a kayak down there. I've got to drive separate then.
No, put it in the boat. That happens all the time. A lot of guys pre-fish that way.
Finish that day one.
So that corner dock post, it's actually ended up being pretty important on day two, but I hooked a fish just off the corner. I was taking a lipless crankbait and almost dragging it like a jig, just really slow. And I hooked a fish. I wasn't sure if it was a catfish or what. It was staying down. I got my net ready just in case. As soon as I see it comes up and it just shakes its head once or twice, lipless comes out of its mouth. And that was probably about an 18-incher, but I kept that spot in mind, and it was getting close to about 12, and I had never fished that area in my life. I just thought it looked good on the map, decided to start there, let the other fish warm up a little. And on my way back to the ramp, I caught a 12-incher or a 12 and a quarter or something. And I took out and I went to that other spot, it's a teeny little slough. The area I was fishing was probably 50 yards wide and maybe 150 yards long in that one. But I didn't end up going back to it in day two because, when I was at the first spot, I was sitting there thinking, okay, it's almost 12 o'clock. I need to move if I'm going to move now. But when I get to the second second spot, I'm like, oh, wait, we're fishing till 5. Now I'm stuck here for the rest of the day. So I sat there and I did laps the entire time. And I'd go down the bank, throw a lipless just on a muddy bank, and I caught like I forget what it was, like a 16 3/4 on that bank. And then it was really slow. I was expecting it to be a lot better because when I came down there before practice even started, I went in there at the mouth of it. I caught a 5-pounder. Then I went in there, caught 2 3s. I picked up a spinnerbait, caught 2 like 14, 15 inchers, and I was like, all right, I should probably get out of here. I know the tournament's a long, long ways away, but that's pretty promising. So I saw the ramp in the back of it, and I was like, yeah, I should probably fish this. And I was expecting it to be like that, but all the fish I was catching were 12, 12 1/4, 13 inches. And I think I ended up catching 7 keepers that day. Just, I guess, 5 of them were out of that little creek just sitting there doing circles. And here, let me figure out what his name is. I can't remember. I'm bad with names.
You don't have to give it away in case there's another tournament there. I don't want
you never know. You may have to nickel and dime another one out there.
Steven Sisto. He's from, I think, Pennsylvania. He was fishing in there, and I had talked to him while we were in there, and he messaged me and asked me if I was planning on going back. And on day 2, he either had 2 or 3 fish, but he said he lost he probably doesn't want me talking about this, but he said he lost like a 7-pounder right at the boat.
That's crazy, man.
There's some big fish in that area. But then come day 2, I looked at the map and I decided I was going to start in that spot that I started the day before, because looking at it, it was fishing a lot tougher than I thought. That starting place was a lot better than where I ended up. So, and at least there is more room to expand. And then I had a second place in mind that I might move to. So I started in there, and it was almost too cold to fish for like the first hour. I was fishing a jerkbait, and like 3 times a cast, I'd have to dump my rod down in the water and thaw it out. And I caught like a 18 something, I think, like either a 17 something or an 18 something. I can't really remember how big it was, but off that same corner post of that dock on a jerkbait this time, since the water level came up and it pushed clean water from the main river, which was actually colder. That water ended up being like 41 when I got in there, but I decided to throw a jerkbait. Just anytime it's pre-spawn and I can throw a jerkbait, I'm going to do it. I did it at Seminole. I did it here. It's done good for me. But then I threw right back to that post, and I caught a 12 1/4, a 12 1/2, then threw back again and caught a 15 incher.
You really liked your corner post.
There was they had sunk like brush and had crappie stakes put in. I don't know if y'all know what crappie stakes are. It's big on Tennessee.
We're in Alabama. We're not that far.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody down here crappie fishes on actual natural cover anymore.
Yeah. But then I just kept fishing around, and I found a few new things that between looking at live scope and just randomly falling upon stuff. The biggest fish I caught, I was actually going to a point, and I get about halfway there, and I just see a little stick up about 6 inches under the water. Then I look on live scope, and there's about 3 of them down there, and then there's a bunch of Christmas trees sunk down in between them. That's where I caught that big one. I actually ended up having a crappie boat come up there, and they were so close. They were looking. They said, "Man, you can really see those trees on that live scope." And then they asked me if there were crappie down there, and I was like, "Yeah, there's a little school of them." And they went up and dropped the marker buoy on it and started fishing it. Yeah, that's
all right.
I caught 11 keepers on day 2, but most of them were just over 12. I kept measuring them, hoping they'd help me a 1/4 inch, but it never happened. Of course, Lambert had to slide in at the last minute and just take that first place from me.
Sorry, man.
All right. Well, how about you, Ryan?
You deserved it.
I don't know, man. I didn't really look forward to this tournament at all. I saw the cold front. I decided I was not going to pre-fish. I went up Friday and thought that I might go look at the lake Friday morning, but I ended up having to work all day. So I had like an hour and a half before cutoff, and I went down and looked at one slough, and it was full of bait, and I saw like dead shad everywhere, and I was like, nah, I'm not fishing the lake. So Eric Thomason from Knoxville, he said, neither one of us are on anything. Let's do a river float. And I said, all right, man, cool. Just drop me a pin for the ramp. And I went and met him at the ramp, and we started floating. I had no idea where I was. I didn't look at the map. We were just, river fishing, just beating the banks, throwing moving baits, trying to find fish. He missed a fish on like this big man-made, I don't know what it was, like a barge docking place back in the day for Oak Ridge National Lab. He went on down past it, and I was like, man, he missed one on a moving bait. Let me get the old Ned rig out and see what's up here. So I threw in and caught a fish near the bank, and I got to feeling around. I didn't turn my graph on. I got to feeling the bottom, and I was like, there's something here. I don't know if it's grass or what. Well, I caught another fish like 20 yards out from the bank, and I was like, man, this may be where they're holding, because I didn't get any other bites near the bank. So I found like this 30-yard circle of grass, just dragging a Ned rig through it. And I caught like, I don't know, 12 fish on day one in an hour and 15 minutes or so. So I had my limit. I called a couple times. Some of them were short fish. And I said, I'm going to leave this alone. I really think 10 fish will probably cash a check in this tournament. So I left it, and I floated like 9 more miles of river and didn't get bit the whole rest of the float. That was kind of, it made me nervous. I didn't feel like I had enough on day one to be able to break the top 3 on day 2. And that was my goal. I told everybody, I was like, if I can get in the top 5 tomorrow, I'll be pretty happy. But I tried to manage those fish.
You've got 88 and you've got 74, and you're worried about getting locked into that whole float, and you've little spot. Yeah.
When you're watching somebody put up nearly 90 inches of fish, like 74 is not a good number to try to stick with. So I was like, man, maybe I left that too early. Maybe, did I just knock myself out of having a chance? But, ifs and buts. So I finished out the float. I didn't catch anything else. I didn't even have a bite. But I knew where those fish were. So my day 2 plan was just single launch access, go down 2 miles to the spot, and just, I'm really good at being stubborn. So I was like, I'm going to sit on this grass, and I'm going to work it all day long. And that's what ended up happening. I got down there, and worked the grass all day. I started with a Ned rig and had 1 bite, and then I switched to Kurt Smits' favorite little setup. I throw a big TRD in the deal with a light
Love that
tungsten weight. Without, it's not pegged or anything. I like it because you can pop the line, and that Elastec floats, and it'll make it dart back down into the grass and look like a bait fish. And I caught a couple fish on that, and they stopped biting, and I was sitting on 4 fish for most of the day. And I'm watching, I call him Edwin. I was watching Edwin just at the top of the leaderboard, untouched all day long. Kurt moved up in front of me, and I was like, man, come on now. So I've in my head, I'm like, you have to do something. Like, you have to make a move to try to rectify this situation. So I messaged Kurt, and I was like, hey, old man, I'm about to slide down here and call real quick. And he said, he's like, you better make sure it's, over 11 3/4 or something like that. So I thought I was going to go down. There's another like pump station or some man-made structure into the bluff wall riverbank. I thought I was going to go down there and pluck 1 fish off with a Ned rig. I got down there, and a perch bit my Ned rig, and I set the hook so hard it killed that fish, literally. I mean, it was my 5th fish. I just freaking laid on it. I pulled drag on a perch setting the hook is how hard I set the hook. I took it off the hook and put it back in the water, and it just turned belly up. And I was like, dang, my bad, cuz. Like, I was real excited.
The best thing you can do at that point is eat him.
I wasn't hungry at that time, so I left them there in the water. But I started making my way back up to my spot, my little grass spot, and I looked. I'm doing the math. I'm like, Ewing's 19 inches in front of me. Like, if I want a shot at him, I got to catch a big fish. So there was this real junky looking eddy behind, like it was almost a cave in a bluff wall current break. And there was like a film over the top of it. It looked awful. So I threw in it 4 times. And then on the last cast on the 5th time, I hadn't gotten bit. And I was like, I'm out of here. So I start turning my boat back out into the current and I'm drifting down. I'm reeling that chatterbait in real fast. And that 19-inch largemouth came out and just choked the chatterbait. I mean, all the way to the back. I got it in the net and I picked it up and I realized like, this is probably exactly what I needed. I put it on the board. It was 19 inches on the nose, which put me a 1/4 inch back on Ewing. And I was like, there's no freaking way I'm letting this kid come down here and just roll us in the dirt. Like there's no way I'm going to let him win this. So I had about 40 minutes left and I just kicked as hard as I could, got back up to my grass spot. I always look at my phone when I'm fishing. I'm always playing on Facebook or whatever. Well, Lee Rose had posted a screenshot of the leaderboard with Ewing at the top. And I like screenshotted it and I said, watch this. 4 casts later, I made a 2-inch cull and then I sent her a screenshot of the leaderboard and she said, you did not. And I was like, oh yeah, I told you.
Don't worry, I'm coming for you.
That's fine, buddy. I love it. The more
Just wait
trash
for the
talk, the
TOC.
quicker I get out of bed in the morning.
Wait for the TOC. I'm getting you on that one.
I will be waiting, son. Don't worry.
I'm just going to go ahead and
I wasn't
start
there to
opening
get
up
it.
bids on this. If anybody wants to put bets on this, just
Let's
shoot
go.
me a message on Facebook.
Let's go.
What if you're fishing in the grass? What kind of net head are you using?
I always throw the same. I like the tungsten Neds with like the real hook on them and a weed guard. That's all I ever throw.
Okay,
Nice.
cool.
And I don't know why they quit biting it on day 2, but the Texas rig did better on day 2 for some reason. I don't know why, but I had to bust out a chatterbait to catch all my fish on day 2. Once that wind started blowing, that's all they wanted was the jackhammer. They wouldn't eat anything slow.
When you were throwing the Texas rig, were you still throwing the same worm that you were throwing on your net?
No, I was catching them on a green pumpkin regular, little baby TRD on the Ned, and then I switched to the big TRD in the deal on the Texas rig. That's how I always do it. I don't know why. I'm broken.
Hey, it's not broken if it works, man.
When that wind picked up towards the end, I was like, yeah, if I can't catch another one, this probably isn't going to hold. These fish are going to start biting.
You scared me when we were sitting there at, we had to pre-record the awards because the Wi-Fi wasn't great there at the hotel. And he tells me this story and he's like, yeah, I was looking at the leaderboard and I was like, man, I know I'm going to have to call now to win this thing. And then he stopped and he didn't finish the story. So like the whole thing, like I'm sweating like the whole time. I'm like, did I win? Like, we all have on masks. Like, I don't even know if he's smiling under there. I'm like, I can't tell. Like he just stopped the story, like at the good part and didn't tell me if he called or not.
He just stopped the story and hit Ryan with
made my heart rate get up a little bit.
I love it.
And
That's
Kurt,
great, though. I like that somebody gave you a little bit of a challenge, man.
Buddy, that was the conditions gave us a challenge. That was it. It wasn't, I mean, just surviving that one, I feel like was a big accomplishment.
That's what the whole thing sounds like. It was more of a survival situation than a regular tournament. It was just give me what
Josh
you got.
Counts. Do y'all know Josh Counts? He's from down. He's a Tennessee guy, but now lives down south, Florida. But he pulled a guy out of the lake. A dude fell in the water. He pulled him out of the lake, took him to the bank, built a fire, and gave him dry clothes out of his kayak. Like he legit saved a dude's life on Saturday during the tournament. Like it was dangerous out there for sure.
that's awesome. Well, yeah, we had him on for the Seminole pre-show. Yeah,
Yep.
that's awesome.
Yep.
Man, I don't know why you
I didn't
haven't heard
either till
about
last
that
night.
anywhere else.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
You're what? Bringing the news, boys. Bringing the news. I got you.
Someone's life.
This is lunch money with your 5 o'clock update.
Yeah.
So if y'all thought that was tough fishing, you should come to Central Virginia at almost any time of the year and see how tough it really is up there.
What's
I'm
in
used-
Central Virginia?
Not much.
All right.
Here,
I've been to Lynchburg. I fished the James River up there. That's my only Virginia experience for the most
The
part.
James is. Are you talking about smallmouth sections?
Smallmouth and muskie. I caught my first muskie up there on a Ned rig. It was awesome.
There's tons of fish in the James.
Oh yeah, big fish. Chase Tanner wears it out up there.
Oh yeah, I fish a tributary to the James and catch. I've had days where I catch 100 inches of smallmouth for 5.
Oh yeah, for sure. I've got days on Gunnersville where I catch 102 inches of smallmouth on 5. Those days are about to start here in about a week and a half.
Yeah, I've just been waiting to see Ryan post a picture, so I know. All right,
It's
time
close,
to go.
man. It's so close.
At the end of every show, we talk about tournaments that have done all the tournament winners from around the country, and I'll actually go ahead and say this one because you're talking about tough tournaments. The toughest tournament I've ever seen since I've been doing this show. You ready? It was Carolina Kayak Anglers on Sharon Harris. There was 66 anglers, and this is a 5 fish limit tournament. Out of all the people, as 66 anglers, only 6 people caught 66 people. 6 people caught 1 fish.
Oh.
What was the big fish?
20 3/4.
Oh, at least he was a good one.
Yeah, Henry Vegan, that guy.
Vigian, something. Yeah.
That guy. And Chris Draga, 20 1/4, and then Richard Van Meter got third with 90 3/4. 6 people out of 66 caught 1 fish out of a 5 fish limit.
We had a tournament on Rocky Mountain PFA down in North Georgia, which is a donkey factory, but it's real temperamental. They went down there. I didn't even fish this one because I don't like fishing in that weather, but I think it was like 30 or 40 guys went down there, and there was a shad kill. It got so cold. 0 fish were caught. They determined the winners by blind draw. That was Shane Williams, his only tournament win.
What a way to throw somebody under the bus.
Yeah.
Straight cutthroat.
Yeah.
Yeah, Steve's told us the story about that one before.
Yep.
Tell us that. That does suck.
Since y'all were talking about people just measuring 1 fish, did anyone look at the leaderboard after day 1 and scroll down towards the bottom and see how many people caught just 1, like 20, 21, 18, 19 inches?
Yep, there were big fish caught, but not. It doesn't seem like anybody could put together a stringer of the big fish.
That's when all those people need to like confer and just be like, "Here, we'll split it."
Everybody put together 1 limit.
That's right.
Brad said to ask Kurt how tough fishing Southwest Ohio is.
Well, I didn't want to get in a bragging contest about how crappy Southwest Ohio, if you're talking black bass, is brutal, man. Brutally hard fishing.
I have a friend that he's from West Virginia, but he fishes the Ohio River a lot, and he usually just fishes for walleye or walleye or hybrids or sauger or something. Just there's like 1 backwater he can actually catch bass in.
Yeah.
I could not live somewhere.
And that's the good bass fishing. He's over by the good bass fishing, man.
They've got a few good lakes there in West Virginia, but it's definitely tougher than Virginia.
Y'all just make me feel so much more blessed for where I live right here in front of Wheeler Lake. I feel so bad for y'all's terrible fishing. We don't have that here.
Lucky, man. I ain't gonna lie.
Like, I'm in central Alabama, and it's okay. Jimmy and Ryan, y'all are up where it's at, man.
I'm right between Gunnersville and Chickamauga. I don't think I could pick a better place to live, to be honest with you.
No way. That's the perfect place to live.
Yeah, y'all are in the Mecca. I'm in, like, okay.
Yeah, you say you're between Gunnersville and Chickamauga, but where's the love for Nickajack?
There's not any. If Nickajack had a plug, I would pull it and drain that thing. It's awful. It's the ditch between Chickamauga and Gunnersville.
That's kind of how I feel about Wilson, between Wheeler and Pickwick. People talk all the crap about Wheeler they want. Wheeler's an amazing fishery. I just feel like Wilson's exactly what you said. It's just the holding area in between.
Nickajack just doesn't have the big bays. It doesn't have the feeder creeks. It doesn't have what it takes to grow the big fish. I
Right.
love fishing the upper end of Nickajack through downtown Chattanooga. There are some mega bags of smallmouth in there, but like the lake itself I live on the lake part down here. And I mean, I fish local bass boat club stuff down here. And I mean, somebody comes in with 16 pounds and their chest is sticking out, son. If you come in with 16 pounds on Chickamauga, you might as well just put it on the trailer and not even get your fish out in the bag because you just got wrecked.
That's the truth, man, right there.
We'll talk about since we still got some time. I want to kind of talk about it because, obviously Chick's known for the just giant bags that come out of it. You hear from a lot of the Tennessee folks that Watts Bar is the next lake. The next Chick. It definitely didn't show out this time due to conditions, but do you want to talk about that any? Or
I mean, Ewing could probably speak to that more than anybody. I fished Watts Bar one time 6 years ago. I have zero intimate knowledge of it. I'd never want to go back again, still today. So Ewing can take that question. What's it like up there when the fishing's good?
I don't know.
See? All right. So Watts Bar's not the next Chick. See ya.
So I'm going to have to pull my sources.
I have never ventured past I have never gone past where I was fishing on Sunday. That I fished between there and Loudon Dam.
Gotcha.
Usually when I go down there, I put in right below Loudon Dam and I throw top waters up next to the turbine and catch big stripe.
Okay.
Well, that sounds fun.
So the rumors are they introduced F1 Florida strain there like 5 or 6 years ago. Supposedly it's a really good grass lake. In the summertime and into the fall, frogging. You hear a lot of guys talk about going to Watts Bar for frogging. So I think it is on the come up. They're going to have to not spray all the grass. I think it's going to be a key to kind of keeping that success rolling. But there's some monster smallmouth on that lake too. I think a guy weighed in like an 8.5 pound smallmouth in a tournament there last year. So there are some good bags. I don't know if it'll be the next Chick. I think Chick just kind of has like a special little trifecta of the things that it takes to grow the numbers of bass that it does. But there's going to have to be something to take the pressure off Chickamauga because it'll be like Guntersville. You guys saw the downturn of Guntersville. Like you can't have 600 tournament boats out there every freaking weekend, man. Like that decimates the population.
Like I know somebody that's there today. He came down from Illinois, one of the paddling fin guys, and he's on Guntersville for a weekend. He's fishing a creek, and he's like, I can't believe how many boats were there on a Monday. I'm like, dude,
that's every day. There's not a break
on Guntersville. It just gets
doesn't get to breathe.
And how amazing would Guntersville be if it didn't get hammered every day like that?
That I've talked about it before. I wish that we had some of the fishing game practices and regulations that some of the other states have, or like how they reach out to the anglers to help them collect data and stuff like that. Because it's all built around tourism. If the lake's good, it all comes there. If the lake's going downhill, you're going to lose it. You would think that they would want to put a little money towards making sure that they're going to keep making more money, but you just don't see it.
Well, it's a double-edged sword, though. Like you see it on Kentucky Lake, like right now. Those little towns around Kentucky Lake, the only reason they exist, the only reason they can keep the lights on is because of fishing tournaments.
Yeah.
So now that their population of fish has just dwindled to next to nothing, all these big tournaments have pulled out, and rightfully so. I mean, it sucks as an angler to travel that far and spend that much money for just a terrible experience. But I mean, it's crushing those towns. So if they stop having the tournaments or they cut back on the tournaments, it's going to hurt the local businesses and stuff. And I agree there should be a balance somewhere, but I don't know where that line is.
So yeah, there were 300 boats on the Rattle Trap tournament yesterday on Great.
And that was just one. Guarantee you there were like 3 other events going on.
Easily.
That's one tournament I'll never enter. I hate anything with treble hooks on it, so you'll never catch me in a Rattle Trap tournament, I promise.
I like treble hook topwater. I do not like rattle traps anymore. It's just not my deal.
Patrick's asked, what's everybody's next event, and what event are you looking forward to on your schedule this year? What's that one event that you're really looking forward to?
Let's go, Kurt. Let's hear it.
Next event is Dale Hollow for me. It's a local Kentucky event, man. I love Dale Hollow. I got a little bit of history down there, and I'm really looking forward to that. As far as the tournament I'm looking forward to the most, man, is TOC now.
Yes, sir. 3 years. 3 years in a row. You made it first year too, didn't you?
No, I did not, man. That really
sorry. I didn't know. It was a sore spot. My bad.
Yeah, you knew.
Oops.
You get a check at Seminole?
Man, it's all going to be erased after this year.
Yep, that's right. That's right.
Did you get a check at Seminole, Kurt?
I sure did. Yeah.
Yeah, 2 in a row. Congrats, man.
Thanks.
Dude, Kurt and Ewing they're in the AOY conversation for sure out of the gate, for sure.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What about you, Ewan? What you got next? And first
I've
off,
got
what kayak are you buying? When are you buying it? Then what tournament are you fishing?
Obviously going to be from the dugout. He's got the swag.
Yeah.
Lee Rose ain't gonna let him buy one from anywhere else. He doesn't have a choice on that.
Lee Rose wants to pop in.
Of course she does. Gosh.
Well, as far as kayak tournaments, I'm looking at Hartwell and Susky. So, both of those, if I can fish both, I will. But hopefully, I can at least make it to one of the two. See how it goes. Definitely need to fish 3 though for the AOY race.
And which one are you? What's your tournament you're looking forward to the most, Hartwell or TOC?
Probably TOC. I've heard a lot about Eufaula.
I mean, just the TOC experience, the tournament itself. Like, it doesn't matter where the fishery is. Like, the way Hobie just rolls out the red carpet. I mean, you get these big gift bags and catered meals, and it's just, I mean, it's an experience like no other.
Catered meals.
Yeah. Yeah, my buddy from Knoxville
just hit him in the heart.
You probably know this better than I do, but it seemed like I had catered meals when I was down at Seminole staying in the coast camp.
And I've never seen anybody camp like that. That's ridiculous. They had, crab legs and just, it was insane. Every night was something different. They had had his own private chef out there on the giant toe behind grill. It was ridiculous.
I'll be used to cater whenever they had before COVID. They used to bring in food, but
yeah. Well, we still do, just off the books. We have to go somewhere else to do it.
It's the hush hush text messages that go out.
Yeah, right. No, I just posted on KBN. Meet up here tonight. Come on, no mask. Let's go.
Food and scenery.
Yeah, man.
All right, Ryan. How about you, man?
My next one. I don't even know the dates on the schedule. Probably
the KBF on Pickwick.
Probably gonna the what? No, that's not on the schedule for the rest of my life. Hartwell, I'll tell you, I want to do Hartwell. I want to do, I guess, Dardanelle. I'm going to fish it too. Susky is on the list, and then I'm going to do a doubleheader in Texas right before the Bassmaster Classic out there, and pick up, what is it, Sam Rayburn, the Hobie Sam Rayburn is the weekend before. So I'm going to try to knock both of those off. But obviously TOC is what I'm looking forward to. That's my only goal for this year. I'm going to hit Pickwick too. I plan on cashing a little check on Pickwick. So go ahead and write that down. But I want that other TOC trophy over here for this side of the podcast desk.
Hobie's my favorite. I mean, Pickwick's my favorite lake. So I'll be out.
I love Pickwick. Pickwick it's a really good fishery, and you can kind of take your pick. Do you want to swing for giant smallmouth, or do you want to find some really good largemouth up in the grass? I think it's got a little bit for everybody. I'm trying to talk a bunch of people into coming down for that one.
I'm hopefully going to that one, but I like to fish the backwaters, like the really, really skinny moving waters.
Yeah.
And I just don't know where I like to go, if the rules with Hobie are going to work out in my favor.
Gotcha.
So,
you and Drew Gregory going to be sitting up there next to each other?
Probably. I guess
some little ditch running out.
Yeah, 3 inches of clear water. That'll be about all we need.
I got you.
All right. So one other question from Kaz Anderson here. Hey, Ewing, can you give advice to a young up and coming
Chaz? Old Chaz is out here, boy.
I get older.
Get your driver's license.
I guess
Hey, Kaz, come over here.
Y'all all packed in here.
What's up, y'all?
He's the one that's sponsored. I don't know why he's asking me.
Oh,
Oh boy.
for
I'll
real,
send you a free pack of Ned rigs.
same question though. For real, answer it.
I mean, just fish as much as you can. That's whether it's go to a pond and fish or go to a small lake, big lake, and then fishing as many tournaments as you can. Just the more time spent on the water, the more you learn.
That's right.
There's no replacement for it.
Yeah.
What about Ryan? Ryan, Mr. Lunch Money. What would your advice be to a young up and comer?
You don't want me to give my advice to kids.
Drink Yingling all night.
Have as much fun as you can. Like, have as
Legally.
much fun as you can.
Legally.
I don't care if it's legal or not. Have as much fun as you can. Get up and go fish the tournament. But these, we go out and we hit the road with these guys. Get out and go to dinner and get together and enjoy that time. Your tournament may suck. It really might. The only, positive you can take home from is hanging out with your buddies. So I like that aspect of it. Fishing is secondary. I get lucky every now and then, but I like just getting out with my friends and we all kind of share this little common bond. The kayak anglers, we all have a pretty good time. And Dan, me and you, we've done floats together. We didn't know each other from Adam. Like, you're like, hey, I'm coming to town. Like, let's go fish. And that's it. Like, that's how this stuff works. So that's my deal, is meet as many people as you can, learn as much as you can from them on the water, and make sure and have a good time.
That's can't be said better. That's my favorite thing about this sport. That's why I don't mind paying the money to travel and fish the events, as long as you get to hang out and you always learn something. Like I something that sticks in my head is when I just can't think of his name. When Russ came down to Del Hollow, you sit and talk for 5 minutes and you learn something. When you listen, open your ears around the guys that are seasoned and good at what they're doing, and laugh and drink a whole lot of beer.
Nope.
Can't beat it.
And most of them tell you, like, I'm not shy about what I'm catching them on or what I'm doing or where I'm at. Like, especially with new people, in our grassroots club, we'll get a lot of new guys that have never fished before, period. They'll go out and buy a kayak because it's cheap and come out and they don't know what they're doing. I mean, take 20 minutes and lend them a little advice, a little bit of time. You may change their whole life. I mean, as far as that goes, that's something that you can give to somebody that costs you nothing. So,
oh yeah.
Or that you're going to be fishing the same bait in the same area at the same time, or like slim to none anyways. Tell them, there's no reason to hide what you're doing.
I mean, and even then, man, I've heard stories. I'm pretty sure it was Jody, like guys having a tough day and Jody had already wrecked them. And, Jody backed out of a spot and was like, here, throw this, throw it over there. I just caught all my fish here. You can have it. But you will not find a bass boat guy scooch on over and let you in.
No, heck no. They'll run that trolling motor dead just doing circles so you can't get in there.
Yep.
And if they do let you in there, they might get on plane and run a few donuts over the spot before they do.
Hey, all right, so I've got a question for you, Ewing. What does your brother do? I saw some people posting in KBN about your brother's a hammer, blah blah blah. What's this guy about?
Is his name Patrick?
No, it's Nolan Miner. He fished all the college bass events and he fished a few FLWs. And it's kind of funny because second place is a very common thing for him to be in. And we're really good at getting close, but not quite cutting the deal. He had the Bassmaster college bracket. You all know what that is?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That he got, he was leading it on the final day, and then Nick Ratliff in like the final few minutes caught a fish, called him right in front of him. So then Nick qualified for the Bassmaster Classic and got to fish the Opens, paid, and all of that.
Oh man,
that package they have.
Yeah.
I hate to see you carry on a family tradition, but I hope we're in the same scenario down on Eufaula later this year.
I will tell you this much: his final college open event, he did win it. So maybe one day I'll win one.
Well, and you have been extremely successful just walking in the door a month ago into this sport. Like that's what I tell everybody. Dylan Lowry, my buddy Dylan, that stays with me and travels with me everywhere. He can't put together the 2-day deal yet, and I'm like, dude, you have to take your licks. Like you're going to get a lot more bad days than you are good days, but eventually, and Kurt's seen this probably more than any of us have. You get that little boost of confidence, you get that big win, and then there's not that pressure. You don't really feel like you can't breathe when when you got guys breathing down your neck with that hot breath.
I really tried to help Dylan at Seminole.
He's too stubborn. You can't help that boy.
I told him, I said, throw a jerk bait. I pulled up the map. I said, throw it on places like this. And then I showed him the exact cadence I was catching him on. I'm not sure where he ended up going, but he just kind of disappeared. He probably
to the house. He went to the house. I'll tell you where he's going.
That's the problem.
That's the problem. That's right.
Oh man.
All right, we've been on here an hour. We don't want to take up too much of y'all's time. We want to give everybody a chance to shout out any sponsors. Anybody makes this easier for you. Ewing, the young man, we'll start with you first.
As always, I'd like to thank Dugout Bait and Tackle and the Kozas. Just it's the whole reason I've gotten into the kayak scene. And one of our school sponsors, Seagar Fluorocarbon, we've got a deal that we each get a certain amount of line for the season, and that's what I've been using all season and haven't had many problems out of it. And the problems that I have had are just to be expected, just stuff that's unavoidable.
I want to try that gold label. That's some good looking stuff.
Personally, Red Label is my favorite.
That's what I said, man.
It's honestly, it's probably the best line on the market, and you can't beat the price.
So I think the guy's name is Brian. That's over like the Seagar like fishing team, whatever. He emailed me today and was like, "Hey man, we're gonna put you on the Seagar team. What kind of line do you use?" I was like, "I use Seagar Red Label, dog." And he's like, "Well, that's pretty common. You can buy that everywhere." And I was like, "Yeah, that's exactly why I use it. I can buy it at the gas station." Like, made sense.
I started using it just because I don't think there's any more affordable fluorocarbon, and I tried some more expensive stuff, and there's some I like, some I don't, but I really don't notice enough of a difference to go to anything more expensive.
I've been using only Invisex since like 2012.
Invisex it's right up there with it. I feel like Red Label's a little more abrasion resistant than Invisex, though.
Maybe I need to give Red Label another shot because I tried it a couple of years ago and I hated it. And then I got on Sunline FT Sniper and I haven't looked back.
Yeah.
But my God, it's expensive.
I will. Invisex, I think it has a little less stretch than Red Label because it's a whole lot more sensitive. So if you're fishing something that you really need to feel the bite, and that's the way I'd go.
Okay. All right. Well, Kurt, how about you, buddy?
Man, I'd like to put a big shout out to Hobie, man. Obviously, Hobie's been a long-time sponsor. Strictly Sail and Kayak. They're getting a big shipment of kayaks in next week. They're getting 50 more kayaks. They got hundreds of kayaks right now. So if you're looking for one, that's a great place to go. Fishing Online, Torpedo, Catch, Yak Attack, and, of course, St. Croix.
And Picasso, man, you made that.
And I'm sorry, Picasso. Huge shout out to Picasso. I caught all my fish except for one on the Picasso little round jig, man.
I just want to say that because you made a great YouTube video the other day on your swim bait, and I actually bought some jig heads because of that. Great video. Go out and check out Kurt's YouTube page. He gives away a lot of juice on there. If you're not subscribed, you are missing out for sure. So check that out. But Ryan, man, it's your turn, man.
I would like to thank Z-Man because they caught more fish than Picasso.
Oh,
so there you go.
Love the shade.
Dugout Bait and Tackle again. The Kozas. I want to thank Jamie for paying Leroy's Wi-Fi bill so Ewing could be on here with us tonight. Calco's fishing, Plano. I guess Plano got tired of seeing me with my janky like chrome Plano or Fraybill net on the front. I came home and there's a brand new carbon fiber net laying on the porch this morning. So I think that was a helpful hint to upgrade my net. And you know, my buddy Steve-O, who we kind of started this whole kayak deal together up here. AJ for running the best series that we have going right now in kayak fishing, and Hobie for putting the faith in him and kind of taking the leash off and saying, man, go make this great. And for what he's done for the anglers, like it's awesome. It's next level. I hope Bass, you know, continues to build on the platform that they have. But you know, we got a lot of good things going, and thanks for everybody being a part of it. You guys too. I mean, just continue to grow this. The more eyes we get on it, the better it is for all of us.
Exactly.
Hey, we haven't said it, but good on Bass for changing from whatever janky lake that was on to possibly
Louisville. Yeah,
there you go. So shout out to them for doing that.
Yeah.
They're listening, man. They're
making
paying attention.
Yeah.
But Lord, they should have done it before so many people had already made all their reservations.
Yeah.
Yep.
True.
Yep. I talked to Dwayne. I mean, we just had him on KBN just an hour ago, and you know, I told him we can go ahead and start working on that 2022 schedule tomorrow if they want to try to get it out before the year gets here. So
yeah, but no, they're making good moves. Like, you know, after you saw the payout numbers and stuff like that, I think, you know, hopefully next year you'll see that go 2-day. I think that's something that it definitely needs to be like that. I mean, Bassmaster is an elite thing, but I think that is what it needs to be. I mean, I still think that we'll eventually see a 3-day. You know, it'll.
I think so.
Like
I think so, but there's going to have to be non-endemic sponsors. There's going to have to be guys that are literally getting paid to go fish these tournaments for a living.
Paid to show
that's when, if you're going to ask somebody to take a 10-event schedule and basically miss 10 weeks of work to be able to do it, then there's going to have to be some dollars on the other end of it.
Yeah, it's coming.
They're like 2 miles down the road from me. I keep going to the knocking on the door, but they won't let me in.
Like just to know that it's all coming in is like you see, like even Paddle and Fin, like I won't mention any of the names or anything, but like companies that are completely outside of the industry reaching in, finding a way to get in our industry, whether it's podcast or, you know, backing an angler or something like that.
Eastern Sky Vodka. I mean, that's, you know.
Exactly. Yeah. Like it's stuff like that. And like big name companies are starting to turn their head towards us. So it's only a matter of time. Next 5 years, I think it'll happen. Just because it's happening so fast already.
Kurt, will you be retired from kayak fishing in the next 5 years?
Hell no. Come on.
Hell no.
I may be going down to a wheelchair in 5 years, but
I'll help you get in the boat. That's my promise to you.
They'll have to make a senior division.
If it's really going to happen in 5 years, I'll be out of college and I'll be ready to go.
What are you going to be? What are you going to be when you grow up, Ewing?
I don't know at this point.
I don't know.
The answer is professional.
That's a good answer. That's a good answer.
I'm getting a business degree so that you can go about anywhere in the fishing industry with that. Actually, my coach, Hunter Sales, he was the one that helped me decide on that degree. So, because I had no clue, I just knew I wanted to do something with fishing, and he said that's the best route. That if you're going to go professional, you got to get the business and marketing degree so that you can help promote for those companies.
You can be a professional Instagrammer.
There you go.
It's so weird that that's a thing.
It is. You can get a TikTok, you get OnlyFans. Who knows? Who knows where your future is going to lead you, man?
Oh, good Lord. All right, guys.
We're ending it here.
I think it needs to be ended on that note.
All right, guys. We appreciate y'all. Be good and good luck this season. I'm sure we'll talk to you again.
Oh, right. See you guys.
All right, be good. All right, here we go. We'll talk about them other tournaments. We'll leave out that most brutal one of all time. Well, I guess second brutal one to that one up in Tennessee. But we had a Georgia Kayak Fishing League season opener on Lake Sinclair. And again, I'm sorry if I mispronounce your names. The Mississippi public school systems are terrible. 43 anglers, 56 fish caught. Another terrible tournament. Thomas Yang, 88 1/4, first place. Adam Thomas, 84 1/2. Shetzi Heel with 50 inches, and that's terribly mispronounced. I'm sorry, Shetzi. Nebraska Kayak Anglers. This was a cool one. Their 4th annual Kayak Anglers on Ice. So actually like an ice fishing tournament, but it's like Kayak Anglers. So I threw it in there. It was 5 best crappie spots, sockeye, whatever you want to call them, 3 best bluegill, and 1 bonus fish. So that could be whatever, I think. Ice Hole Power was number 1.
Clearly going to be going for like pike or something.
Yeah, a little bit longer.
Need to throw 30-something inches on the board.
Yeah, the Ice Hole Power dude won. So he didn't even put in his name. He just said, my name is Ice Hole Power today. He won with 79 inches. Chad Kennedy was second with, so it wasn't even teams. He just named himself Ice Hole Power. Chad Kennedy was second, 78 3/4. Third was Zach Wright. I mean, that's great marketing. Zach Wright in third with 78.5. Next was my terrible tournament, Iron City Kayak Anglers on Big County Lake. Giants are no fish at all. 36 anglers, 2 fish limit because it's just a throwdown. Only 10 people caught fish. Dalton Craig, 45 inches per 2 fish. He caught a PB, 24.5. My boy Chuck Wise with 38.25. He caught a 23.5. It was like 8.5 pounder. And Mike Chachane, nice, really nice guy. He had 85. He had 28.5. And Lincoln Stewart, he got former state champion. He had a 22.5 as well. He got 4th with 1 fish. It was a big. And Tin Cat, they were on Watts Bar. They had a meetup. It was kind of in conjunction with the Hobie. So some people that didn't sign up, but that was only a 3 fish limit. Brad Golden, he, Tennessee Hammer, he had 55 inches. Keith Freeze, who was also in the event, the Hobie, he had 51.25. And Jacob Berry, who did great on day 1, he had 51 inches. So congratulations to them. So even though they didn't win the event, they might have cashed a check. I didn't look at that, but they cashed a check in that event. So, it all worked out. So great show. Check out Dugout. And again, check out, if you're thinking about that Paddle and Fin Trail, check that out. If you have any questions, email Susie Roloff, message her on Facebook. But yeah.
Come on down to Del Hollow and see us. I know a bunch of us are going to be down there. I don't even know if I'm going to fish it. I may just go down there and run a camera. I mean, I'll fish while I'm down there. I just don't know if I'm going to fish the tournament. But
I'm the same way. I think I'm going to try to run down there. I'm not going to get to practice. I can't take any more time off, but I think I'm going to run down there and just videotape and stuff like that and be a part of the events, and fish some. But I don't think I'm going to be able to actually fish the event.
Yeah, I like just going down there to hang out. It's a beautiful area, and I'm sure we'll get a bunch of the Tennessee guys that'll come over if there's not, which I don't think there's anything big anywhere else in the country going on that weekend. So maybe them Tennessee guys will come out again, Riser and Russ and Steve-O and all those guys. We can get them out there to show us where them big smallies hide on Dale Hollow.
Jay Wallen, Christine, all them people like that love Dale Hollow are going to come out. And it's like, if you're thinking about it, it's that we talked to the guy who owns the resort that we're staying at. It is that perfect. He said, this is the weekend. Like if you're coming, you want to catch that perfect big fish and you're coming to Dale Hollow, this is the weekend of the whole year you want to be there. This is the weekend that we scheduled it. So like the absolute perfect time to catch that PB smallmouth of your life at Dale Hollow, where the world record smallmouth is from. This is a time to be there.
Eastport Marina.
There you go. Yep.
Check it out.
So as always, be safe out there, wear your PFDs, and be nice to everybody. There you go. A little more, life advice. I'm gonna end it on that. Be good, everybody.
All right. Good night. Thanks for tuning in this week, everybody. The Reel Down was brought to you by the Dugout Bait and Tackle in Marietta, Georgia. They have everything you need for your next fishing adventure, from rods, reel, line, and tackle, all the way up to Hobie fishing kayaks. They carry all your favorite brands like G. Loomis, St. Croix, Shimano, and many, many more, as well as all of our best bait company. Give them a like and follow, and head on over to the Dugout Bait and Tackle today, and be sure and tell them that Paddle and Fin sent you.
Thanks for tuning in to another killer episode on Paddle and Fin. Don't forget to go check out our website at paddle_and_fin.com. Don't forget to check out the YouTube channel at Paddle and Fin. If you got a question, comment, want to hear from a future guest on a future episode, feel free to email us at paddle_and_fin@gmail.com. Don't forget to follow us on social media at Paddle and Fin on Facebook and Instagram. Shout out to our show supporters, Angler. The Angler button and app just makes for a better time on the water and creates a virtual logbook for every fishing outing out on the water. Shout out to Rocktown Adventures, located in northern Illinois, for all your kayaking, camping, and hiking needs. Shout out to Jig Masters Jigs. When in doubt, get the jig out. Go to jigmasters.com